Well, that's the one most often cited. Certainly, that was the one most out of left field. But to be honest, there's not anything that, apart from maybe a moment in a dance, like Jerry Springer having learned the waltz to dance at his daughter's wedding, and she was there before her wedding, and he kind of did a moment to her. Layla did a similar thing to her father when Muhammad Ali was there. Emotional moments like that, where it's not about being on a TV show, it's about being a father or a daughter. Those are very sweet moments. But for the most part, it's a show that is just fun, and nobody faints every week, and nobody falls out of their chair every week. But it's always great to be ready if they do.
So talk about how you responded when Marie fainted.
Like a dad and a friend almost. I didn't do anything that I thought was unusual, though I was, and Jerry Springer was one who sent me a very sweet voicemail about it. As a fellow TV host, he knows what it's like to deal with the unpredictable. But I honestly reacted the moment I realized she wasn't kidding, which was quick. When I looked down and saw how, I told her on her talk show, I was on it recently, I said, I had never seen even an Osmond looking that white. And I threw to a commercial. I mean, wouldn't it be great if in life we could all do that in a really tense moment, where a car crash is about to happen. We'll be right back after this. But that's what I did. I knew we needed to get the paramedics in there, and we needed to find out, did she just pass out, or is this something more serious? And then the TV host part of me kicked in, because as she regained consciousness, she locked eyes with me, and I think it dawned on her what had happened. And I have fainted in the past, so I know what it's like when you come out of that, and you're kind of disoriented, but you're getting a glimmer of where you are and what might have just occurred. And she looked at me and she went, "Oh, crap." Not the first woman to lock eyes with me and say that, by the way. But I knew I had a line. I knew coming back from the break, everybody was going to be freaked out at home. The audience still didn't have a clear sense of what was going on in the ballroom, but that I had a line to diffuse the tension. So we were coming back from a commercial. I knew Alex was going to a wide shot first. I knew that my physicality, before I said anything, would indicate something. Was I standing tense? Was I standing like this? Or was I listening to the music like I tend to do with the band and kidding around? So I did that. So that instantly you would see, all right, he's not upset. He's doing what he always does, acting like an ass. Must be okay. Then it came to me, and I could say, Maria's backstage, and I just want you to know, as she opened her eyes, she looked at me and said, "Oh, crap," and big laugh. So that's when the TV host, the experience of the television host, kicked in during the break. And how do I want to play this? And how do I want to, what are my goals here for you at home? But everything leading up to that was, my friend just fainted. What would I do if my daughters just, what I would do if they skinned their knee or bumped their head, and you go to them and you make sure. I mean, when my kids used to like bump their head on the furniture or something like that, I would go over and yell at the furniture, "Don't you ever do that to my daughter again!" So they would laugh. They wouldn't. But your instinct is always protective. So it was initially that, and then I went back into being the guy on television. Boogate. When Bristol Palin was cast, Sarah Palin came to the show, and the first time she was going to be in the audience, they said, "Would you talk to her a little bit?" And I said, "Sure." By the way, and I got to say this right at the start, I am a staunch Democrat. I have financially supported Barack Obama, and have made no secret about that. But Sarah Palin is hot. Let me tell you, she's a cutie. So so I sat down and so the dance had ended. It might have been Bristol. I forget who danced just before I talked to Sarah. But the audience, no, it wasn't Bristol, because Jamie Lee Curtis. It was
Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey, because Jamie Lee was in the audience every week for Jennifer. So Jennifer and Derek had danced, and the judges had scored it low, I thought too, in at least 2 cases. And so they were up talking with Brooke when the scores were announced, and they came in a little low. And Jamie Lee started booing the judges because she's not bashful, Jamie Lee Curtis, which I love about her. So she starts booing the judges, and Jennifer's little coterie start booing the judges. And you can hear them you can hear the booing over Brooke trying to talk to Derek and Jennifer, and they kind of go, oh, what's that? And then they cut to me sitting with Sarah Palin. And by the way, Sarah booed the judges too. So that created the look that, oh, they're booing Sarah Palin. And that I was, and they said, and Tom didn't even respond to it. Well, I knew what was going on. We all knew what was going on the city. So it didn't occur to me that, oh, they're going to cut to Tom sitting next to Sarah, who, have I mentioned, is really kind of hot. Anyway. So that was Boogate, and then we had fun with it, and I said to Sarah, she came back the next week or the next night, I think, and I said, do you mind if we cut to you, because I'm going to talk about this and how you booed them too? And she, no, it's fine.